Welcome to today's episode of Movers and Shakers. I am your guest host, Michelle Glover, owner and CEO of Journey Unlimited and your purpose career coach. In today's episode, we are celebrating Black men in business. Throughout our history, Black men have paved the way in entrepreneurship, using it as an outlet for creativity, for building generational wealth, and for uplifting the community. And today's guest is doing just that. He is paving the way in entrepreneurship by helping people build wealth through real estate. And I am honored to celebrate today's guest. He is the president and managing partner of VI Capital Lending Group and of Vision RE Development. So today we welcome and honor the visionary leader, Matthew Coleman. Matt, I'm so excited for this interview today. Really excited to have you as the guest on the Movers and Shakers episode. So tell me a little bit about you and what you do.
Awesome. First of all, thank you. Just to have an opportunity to share is awesome. I always look up to you and appreciate what you do with the league and everything as a business person. And Chazelle here with Movers and Shakers, it's awesome just to have an opportunity to share. So a little bit about me. I'm Matthew Coleman from Toledo, Ohio, proud son of Ron and Judy and grandson of Bill and Charlie Mary. So I moved here to Atlanta to get things started. I graduated from the University of Toledo. I played basketball, consider myself an athlete. I think that's really a bonus for a lot of people to have that. Moving here has been not a challenge, it was just an opportunity, and I really was able to do that. So went to University of Toledo, took the long route. We won't say how many years, but
no judgment. No judgment.
I think when you work, and I paid for my old schooling, student loan, all that good stuff. So it helped me grow as a person, working, graduating in communications. Wanted to be a dentist at first, and it was like, I don't think I can sit in the office all day. So I took up communications, played basketball at the University of Toledo for a year. Kind of showed I needed to maybe do my own thing, and I had a business there for a long time. So I'm happy to be here. I think everyone has a journey, and being from Toledo and moving to a big market has been great.
That's awesome. And I always learn something new. I did not know you wanted to be a dentist. You have beautiful teeth. So, but real estate, you're in this market and it is growing as one of the ways to build generational wealth is through real estate. Right. So tell me what's been the cause and the surge of real estate? So,
I think when we think about a movie, Superman, right? All the great movies, one of the big episodes were like, they were going to create land. I don't know if you remember that. They were going to do something in the ocean. It was going to come up, and one of the villains was going to now own land, right? So I think real estate is monumental, even though we're going off to space because of what we're doing to Earth. That's a whole other story, right? But real estate is something you cannot create. It's something that is a tangible asset that you can't really steal, and that's another conversation, right? You shouldn't be able to steal it. So for me, when I was in Toledo, I was in real estate, and when I was younger, I always used to tell the story of Old Man Johnson, and Old Man Johnson rode around in a pickup truck, had a whole bunch of keys, but he never seemed to have to work. He did real estate. And as a youngster, I think no one really wanted to work, right? And for me to see him, I thought it was easy. But I did learn that with owning real estate in Ohio, there was residual income, it was opportunity. And I think that's something, even people who are at jobs, when they talk about what they want to do, I think not everyone, but a lot of people would say, man, I want to have rental property. I want to have that income that keeps coming while I'm asleep. So that was always something like in the very, very beginning. So I bought a piece of real estate, got a job out of my extended stay in college. And for real, it was only like 5 years plus. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't 8.
Again, no judgment.
But in doing that, that was my goal. I wanted to own real estate. I worked corporate at Brown & Ferris Industries. I was a major account executive. And in doing that, buying the real estate, I ended up having 2 duplexes, a twinplex, and I bought a commercial building. So real estate was always a passion as a youngster. And then now knowing what's going on, people think that it's something new. And obviously, our forefathers, our grandparents, parents, they did real estate. I definitely know now that it's more opportunity. I think the internet, allots us a lot of information. So now it's about filtering through the information and getting connected with the right people. Real estate in Atlanta is growing for obvious reasons. There's more space. A lot of this was the country. And then now having all the space, a lot of America is seen because we're kind of centrally located in the region, being one of the largest airports in the world. It gives us an opportunity to look at our real estate different. And I think the country and the world is doing that.
And that's really cool. You talk about our grandparents and forefathers doing real estate. My grandparents had real estate in St. Helena's Island, and they owned so much land that, now as this generation, we're able to see what do we need to do to develop it. But at the time, when they're like, your grandparents owned land, I never thought about like how cool at that time they knew the importance of real estate.
Absolutely.
So I love what you're talking about in terms of what we can do with it now. And no more land is going to be created.
Right.
To leverage what's there. So you have two companies. So you're the managing partner and president of VI Capital Lending Group, as well as the Vision Group RE Development.
Good job, you got it.
Finally, I got that right. So tell me a little bit more about what you do and why it's important for businesses and entrepreneurs to start investing.
Absolutely. So for me, I kind of go back to bring it to now. I started off in real estate, and I bought a commercial building in Ohio. Right, so I'm working at BFI, I'm doing sales, I'm young, I want to do real estate, but I was fortunate enough to get into sales and I was good at it. I was able to, talk to clients, create rapport. Corporate America really, I think, gives people a great training ground to understand business in the United States. And that's the difference. A lot of people want to do it their way. And sometimes, that wheel was created for a reason. And if you jump on it and know how to jump off, you learn a lot. And I had strategic selling 1 and 2, negotiations, retention. So all these skills at BFI kind of translated into me moving here and having the ability to kind of ad lib, but still have a corporate structure. So back in Ohio, owning real estate, understanding what it can do. And then moving here, I was really gonna do the car thing, right? So I kind of skipped that. In Ohio for 27 years, it's been 28 years now, I own a small dealership. Right, it's a used car dealership. I actually changed the name to my dad's honor, RC, Rent a Car and Auto Sales. And another little piece is when I used to rent houses, I started renting cars. So it wasn't Turo, it was more like, hey, I want to be like Enterprise. I want to own, and I thought, do I spend in Ohio, houses are cheap. Do I spend $40,000 on a house? Or do I take that $40,000 and buy 4 rental cars? So now I had that residual income from the rental cars. So when I came here, honestly, that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna have an RC rent-a-car after passing my dad. I was gonna have 2 locations, then I was gonna have 5 locations. So real estate was kind of put on back burner for a minute. And then I looked at a building in Jonesboro, and back there in Jonesboro, I realized I'm glad I didn't put it there. I think it would have been another Toledo almost for me. I wanted to move to the city more. And I put money down on a lease for the place, 5 bays. And as time, I had just gotten here, and I said, you know what? I don't think I want to be trapped in a building 10, 12 hours a day. So I put that on back burner, and thank God it allowed me to start in real estate. And I started going to a lot of the meetups and shadowing people that are doing it. And I really think that that's the most important thing, is you don't jump into something. You take the time, you learn it. And that's what I've been since I've come here, is just really trying to be a steward and get educated so I can be, an expert in the space. And I think for our generation, as we look back to our parents and grandparents, and even before that, what they had to go through, and then to obtain that land, I really think that it's time to get educated, to hold on to our property. And so for me, that was something I wanted to do. And with VI Capital Lending, I could go on and on about the passion I have, because people don't realize that you don't have to have, tax returns. You don't have to be on that wheel. So it allowed me to be able to offer funds and resources for people to do real estate.
That's really cool. And I appreciate, you talking about, you really have you're very passionate about this space, but you are always learning and trying to develop and grow in this space. And I think now the perception can be, oh, I see this infomercial on, real estate and investing, and tomorrow I'm going to be a millionaire.
Right.
And I love how you have really laid the groundwork for what you're doing. One of the things I like to talk to people about is their why. Like, why do you do what you do? What fuels you to get up every morning and make this work? What is your why for this?
It's funny when that question is posed, and then also you hear people answer it. A lot of times, thinking about the infomercials, I have a phrase I use. It's cliche is a cliche for a reason because it stands the test of time, right? So a lot of these cliches are good. The question is kind of a cliche question, and you have to take those cliches and apply them to you, right? So what I'm saying is kind of cliche and kind of selfish. I want to be happy. My why is to wake up because if I'm happy, then I think I can make other people happy. And I'm a giver by nature. And I learned that. I came to a reckoning. I think sometimes people do things subconsciously to get something, right? So then you almost ask yourself, me as a natural giving person, am I just doing this to get something? Well, yeah. But my why has really been presented to me clearly, that I'm a strengthener, that I'm a giver, and I love to help people. I know it's cliche, but I really am happy to say that I want to light up a room. I want to bring joy. I want to see people laugh. So when I get up, I just go out and have fun.
That's awesome. And knowing you, I would agree to all of that. All of that is true. But I truly appreciate, when you're happy, that just transcends in all that you do. And your customers, your investors, all of them feel that. So kudos to you and what you're doing. Now, as we also kind of shift that space in Black men in entrepreneurship, there are many challenges that you all face when it comes to owning a business and thriving in this space. So tell us some of the challenges and how have you as a Black man overcome those in these years of your entrepreneurial journey?
Yeah, and that's, so many answers are so multifaceted, right? Mm-hmm. I can talk an hour about one piece of it. And that's another one of my. I was like,
we have only so much time in this space. But
I get that from my dad. He can go. So I mean, the challenges have been the challenges since our forefathers. Mm-hmm. And I think it's about access to resources. Education has been shaped in a way for a reason. So when we look at what we were educated, how as Black people we were not allowed to be educated, that shaped what we had access to. So now with, like I said, computers, the access to information, but now it's another fight, which is, propaganda. How is it presented to us in our communities? What's real and what's fake? The crab in the bucket, is it enough for everybody? I think the challenge for our community, Black people as a whole, is to realize that this is simple. We spend this much money, as a community, not to exclude any other community, because my mother's white. And so I have an innate love for both cultures, right? So when you talk bad about, white people, I'm like, hey, hold up.
Right.
They're not like that, And then in the same token, if I hear something negative, I'm a little bit more like, oh, really hold up, right? And
right.
It's the information that we get, and not even that we don't have it. I think we've been pre-trained in the mind, and that's why when I get up every day, I was talking to a friend of mine. I said, when I wake up, I've exhausted so much energy throughout the day. I'm realizing when I wake up in the morning, I'm not tired. I'm just thinking back like, wow. And then I have to get back at it. Mm-hmm. And I think we as a community have to realize that it's enough. Kindness, grace, giving, love can win. And it's not like, I'm the type of person, I can be tough, but I could talk about something and I could tear up. Mm-hmm. And I think as a community, we don't learn. It's so hard. It's so much stress. Like I said, when I wake up, I'm like, dang, what a day yesterday. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like all that energy, but let's go out and do it again. Mm-hmm. Do not give up. Do not stop showing love to each other. Mm-hmm. And that's why I moved to Atlanta, because it gave me that opportunity.
Yeah, I love it. And I love the sharing love and your passion. Again, I know this is what you do professionally, but just who you are as a person really just shines through. And so many people think entrepreneurship, this is the way to go, right?
Right. It's easy.
It's easy. I can do it tomorrow. And one of the tools or the organizations that we're both a part of is the Atlanta Black Chambers. And that's a way to help grow our Black-owned businesses so they're profitable, sustainable, and competitive. And there's many committees within the Atlanta Black Chambers, and you are the chair of the Real Estate and Professional Services Committee. So tell us about that organization and why you all do what you do and the impact you want to have on the community.
Yes. The impact started as being an ambassador. So when I first moved to Atlanta, I wanted to join an organization, and I want to share this because it's important when we talk about the chamber and when we talk about giving. When I first joined the chamber, my whole focus, and I talked to Melvin, the executive director, I said, I'll be a butt in the seat. It was only 30 members at that point. We were just starting over. We were getting grinding and showing up. So, in showing up and being consistent, he asked me to be on the leadership team. I really took a great honor and appreciation of that. So over time, there was an opportunity to start a committee, and I presented to him after really getting deep into real estate and saying, hey, there's no real estate committee. So I got my creative hat on. When I think about my company's vision, I can vision stuff. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna call it the Real Estate and Professional Services Committee, because it's not just about agents. It's just not about builders. There are inspectors, there are appraisers, there's closing attorneys. I counted over 21 ancillary businesses. So that's kind of, and then in our foundation, I said we're gonna first start off with education. That's the whole focus. Next is using market technology. I think that's really important to be progressive. And then it's about collaboration. How can we as an organization collaborate with even the Women's League and have an event? And that's the last one, is to have an event.
I love it. So tell us, or tell the audience, how they can connect with you when they want to learn all about what you're doing and the space that you're in.
Awesome. Obviously, you can go to atlantablackchambers.org. That is www. You can go there and join the chamber. First of all, I think that the overlooming fact is that chamber is for all of us. If you are an African American living in Atlanta, Georgia, doing business, there's no reason you should not join the Atlanta Black Chamber. That's the organization for us, about us. And then also you can reach me. I don't have a problem giving my personal number out. It's 678-870-4331. And then, of course, reach out to movers and shakers and support them as well. We're all a community.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you all for tuning in to this edition of our Movers and Shakers interview, sponsored by the Atlanta Black Chambers. My name is Michelle Glover, and excited to be your host. Feel free to follow me at journeyunlimited.com. Thank you, and you all have a great day.
Thanks.